can't feel your hands. The reins are tied around your wrists because your fingers don't work anymore. You're 16 years old. You're a king, and you're dying. Ahead of you, 26,000 soldiers, the greatest general alive. Behind you, 500 knights, no reinforcements. Your body is rotting. The math is impossible, and you're about to do something so insane it will echo for 800 years. His name was Baldwin IV. At age 9, his tutor noticed something horrifying. When other boys dug their fingernails into Baldwin's arm, he felt nothing. Leprosy, a death sentence. Medieval lepers were exiled, forced to ring bells warning. Unclean, stay away. But Baldwin was a prince. He couldn't be cast out. For 7 years, he rotted on the throne, watching his fingers curl into claws, knowing he'd never see 25. By 16, parts of his face had collapsed. His hands were useless. He wore a silver mask to hide what he'd become. His advisors saw him as a dying boy keeping the throne warm. They had no idea what fire burned inside that broken body. 1177, Saladin, Sultan of Egypt and Syria, the man who did what no Muslim leader had done in 80 years. He had united the Islamic world. Jerusalem was surrounded, Egypt to the south, Syria to the north and east. Jerusalem was an island in a sea of enemies. His spies brought news. Jerusalem's army was gone, fighting in the north. The city was wide open. Saladin mobilized everything. 26,000 men, elite Mamluk warriors, the finest army in the world. Villages were burned, refugees fled, and there was no one to stop them. The news reached Baldwin in Ascalon Fortress. His advisors did the math. 500 knights against 26,000. Your Grace, we must stay behind these walls. They were right. Every military manual says you don't fight 50-1 odds in open field. But Baldwin wasn't looking at a manual. He was looking at his kingdom burning. When you've spent 7 years waiting to die, you stop fearing death. You stop fearing wasting your death. Baldwin gave an order. We ride out. Now, they tied the reins around his wrists. His hands were too numb to hold them. Then, he revealed his secret weapon, the true cross, the actual wood Christ died on. When his 500 knights saw it, everything changed. This wasn't suicide. This was martyrdom. Heaven was guaranteed. Fear disappeared, replaced by certainty. Meanwhile, Saladin made a fatal mistake. He knew Baldwin was trapped, a dying 16-year-old. So he ignored him. His men celebrated early. Armor came off in the heat. Soldiers spread out to loot. Near Montgisard, they crossed a stream. Chaos. Horses drinking. Men bathing, wagons stuck. Saladin was planning his entrance into Jerusalem. No one was watching the horizon. Then the ground started trembling. That low thunder that means one thing. Heavy cavalry. Charging. Baldwin had broken out, ridden 15 miles, and hit Saladin's rear guard. For the first time in his life, the eagle of Egypt felt fear. November 25th, 1177. Saladin's entire army below. Disorganized, vulnerable, unaware. Baldwin dismounted and fell to his knees before the true cross. This 16-year-old king wept. One by one, hardened warriors began crying too. Not from fear, from something they couldn't name. Then, silence. Baldwin stood, mounted. The tears were gone. He raised his sword. No speech, no declarations. The knights lowered their lances. 500 knights became 500 missiles. 500 tons of horse and steel accelerating downhill. Then 500 crashed into 26,000. A Frankish knight at full charge is a freight train. 1,000 pounds concentrated into a lance point. Saladin's cavalry, caught without armor, were annihilated. And in the center, a blind, rotting teenager who couldn't feel his own hands. The wedge drove deeper and deeper. Panic spread like wildfire. Saladin's forces shattered. Men threw down weapons and ran. Carts overturned. Camels stampeded. His Mamluks formed a final ring. Not to win, to buy time. And Saladin, the greatest general in the Islamic world, ran on a racing camel, whipping it through the desert, leaving his army to die. The crusaders chased them 12 miles until sunset. 26,000 men marched into Palestine. Barely 2,600 made it home. Then a freezing storm descended. For 10 days, the retreat became a death march. When Saladin reached Cairo, he was a ghost. He'd lost everything. He wrote, "We have fallen into a distress that only God can relieve." Total annihilation. Baldwin returned to Jerusalem as a savior. But the battle had accelerated his disease. He traded years of his life for one perfect afternoon. He fought on for 8 more years, going blind, losing his hands, eventually carried on a stretcher into battle. In 1183, when Saladin besieged a city, Baldwin was carried there on a litter. When Saladin heard the Leper king was there, just his presence, he retreated. Baldwin died in 1185, age 24. 2 years later, incompetent successors lost everything. Jerusalem fell in 1187, but Saladin never forgot. Until his dying day, when asked about his most dangerous enemy, he didn't say Richard the Lionheart. He named the boy who had to be tied to his saddle